Okay, um, let's start it. So for those detailed question, guys, please write it down. Since 11:23, we should make those questions in your head ready somewhere that we can talk about details later, because there's lots of things I know you want to ask and you want to know. I have still questions I'm answering and trying to learn all these things. I made it clear for you too. So otherwise it will take long time. Okay, we're here until 1 or 2 p.m. if I'm not wrong. So I don't want to hold you guys Saturdays a lot. So okay, so which QA is yours? Okay, so basically is which QA environment, which is team you're working, you can find your team. Like whichever company you apply, they will have team one, team two. You just need to go to, whatever they give you, like this type of idea or link that you can, find out when you got a job, right? When you hire, let's say you're working a big company, you're gonna work, you're gonna be hired. So that might be like 10, 20 teams. So you have to find out your team. They will tell you, okay? Um, User divides different roles of application. Example, Discord user. Okay, so you have to understand the user roles, whichever application you use. This is an example just to give you idea. um, about like when you hire, you're working a team. So what's the roles that you have? Also, what's the application has roles? You have to understand application who use as an end user. We already talked about that. In order to log in campus application, so that's an example I want to give you. Like when you hire, so once you understand the user who is using the end application and end user. So, for example, campus application, right? We are testing in real. So you have to test 3 times, right? You might need to do 3 times, which is login functionality, right? So you're just trying to understand as a user should be able to log in um, with the valid credential and then the invalid credential, etc. Right? Okay. Um, let's continue. So that will help you to understand what it should be better cases that you create. Who is user, who is application. Use the your endpoint to understand. Um, these are the URL you'll share probably like the data. It will tell you like you should try the student one, student two to enter the application. They will give you data. Remember, Coach Mustafa said they're gonna share you data probably like um, team, where you work. So you're gonna have the data that you can use, or you can use the dummy. You have to communicate with developer, of course. But remember, coach said I've been asking IBM interview, what would you do when environment is ready but you don't have test data? Would you start testing? You will say no, because I need to use the correct test data for the application, right? You cannot just say dummy right away. Yeah, I have to communicate with developer which data I should test, right? We testing right here. Data we created, dummy. Shouldn't be this way. Should be like a legitimate data that our developer want us to do it, because we're developing his application he created. That you have to understand that part too. Test scenarios for login. You already know that. Verify the login with valid credential first. Acceptance criteria should be have like this. And also your scenario, positive and negative scenario, right? Invalid credential, like we did here. Remember, you add a functionality positive test and the negative test. This is the best scenario, best cases you can create, positive and negative from the end user point. Okay, and that's the most important part too. And verify the system show error message, right? Validation, that's another thing. Different browser, which is like parallel testing or cross-browsing testing, things like that you can do. After creating test plan, right? Next step like this, before test cases, you should write test scenarios. We already talked about this. You know your job is basically scheduled like this. Your job start basically here. SDLC, software development lifecycle, goes with design. There's gonna be designer of this application, how it looks, how it is, how it that. But when it's come to part, it's here. Your job start here, right? And also developer part 2, developer do their job, develop until coming here. Your job roadmap is here.
I have a question.
Hmm.
The first step of STLC requirements, gathering
Mm-hmm.
and checking the requirements. So, is
Mm-hmm.
that something that we do before we attend the grooming meeting?
Yes, exactly. You do the session that, what is that called session? He was saying,
KT?
huh?
You mean KT session?
KT session, yes. He was talking about KT session, knowledge transfer session,
Mm-hmm.
which is like business requirement, functionality of the application you're working on it. So these are the requirements. Yes, you're correct.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to double check with you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, 1 second. Sorry, guys. If you realize we're talking about soft skill parts, almost done, which is done actually. So you guys with me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Do you guys see this link, which is test cases link? It's here. If you not have this link, communicate with Oktay. Okay, so this is the link. We should all share these cases here and upload here and see how we done. Everybody can check their cases. And RTM is like, the one of the most important documents you always remember. Requirement traceability matrix that will help you idea about what's going on in our project. We're working on it. Who has user story? Who has this scenario? Who has past cases? Who has this the point? These are the things. I'll just quickly tell you this to keep in mind. We're working on Jira. What do you think about? Look at this. We're doing a driver, right? Google Driver, and sharing the document. What could be a professional level everybody can join and do their work in the same place, create cases, create scenarios, create everything that they can upload, and the whole team can aware of what they do. What do you think could be a tools that perfect? We shouldn't do like this, right? If you were
Google Docs is one of them.
Yeah, one of them, right? It's
Yeah.
like Jira. We don't pay this Jira. That's why it looks like a simple 2 weeks usage only. So when you go to apply a job, you just say I use Jira, but don't forget to say Jira X-Ray, also advanced level of this application. Jira X-Ray does the work exactly what we done here. Jira X-Ray, let's say this is a Jira X-Ray application, which is like paid and developed application. It's a cloud, it's a cloud. So you can click and upload your document, which is like test cases, like how you do here. You can create here too, has already on XML. And you can see the RTM uploaded by who? PO, right? BA. And you can also see the whole scenarios like you see here, right? Everything like it's gonna be there. Documents too as well. All right, keep in mind there's gonna be Jira X-Ray All right, you should say to I work with your X-ray, and every documents, every cases, scenarios, RTM, we were keeping here. We are using Jira Simple as a soft skill he showed us, but I asked him, but why are we doing like this? This is not a professional. He said, that's a good question because normally we're supposed to work with either Jira Paid or Jira X-ray. Even, by the way, even your scenarios, your cases can be attached from here to here. You can make that, right? So just keep in mind, okay? You will say Jira X-ray and all documents and the business requirement, RTM, test cases, all scenarios, we work Jira X-ray. All right, then everybody can see, share their things. So here I give you the links, the idea that's the behind, that's why, okay? So you're not just creating your cases on your local computer and nobody knows what you're doing, right? That's not the way we should do in IT. So that's why we use Jira X-ray Cloud, then everybody can see. Okay, this is done. This is done. Now, this is the one I'm gonna share with you, if I can, as a PDF. This is the like a kind of Oktay, keep in mind, brother, we can do this technical work, how to share this, but this is the one I want to share with you. I got from one of my friends who studied and make this for me ready. So these are the question and answer that will help you like a card. Think about like Quizlet, quiz card that you can be in questions for technical, interview that you can answer. Who writes test plan, test cases? You might ask in the interview, right? You will say, typically by QA lead in my environment was that while tester usually write test cases, right? And who approves test cases, right? Test lead, you see? You just answer like this. What is the business logic? What is the purpose of RTM? You see, might be asked this question. You should be able to answer, but it's already simple details and simple answers here. What I just like presented you, presentation. Everything is here, even technical and everything. What is RTM? Okay, just read and understand. It will help you. It's kind of like Coach Mustafa's SDET PDF documents, but it's quick, nice answers and good questions.
And later on, you will be sharing this with us, right?
Yes, just remind me how to do this. We should figure out, then everybody can join and get it or something like that.
Okay.
You see, even there's a code. Let's say you might be asked this. Get the username part of an email with a method, Java method. They will just say that. When you go interview, just do this to me. You said you know Java in your resume. Guy will say, just write this to me. What are you gonna do? You're gonna be asked this question. You have to write it, right? You create a method like this, public string, which is return type, right? Return type you wanna do. And the get email username, it says get the username, that's why. Get the username part of an email, right? You have to get the username value from your email. Let's say Yasin Yoldas at outlook.com. He wants you to get Yasin Yoldas part only, right? From the email. But create a method for that. So you put the method name here and you just need a parameters. Why? Because you have to get a value from the email, right? You create the username and return type should be like this. Username dot substring, which is, we learned this if you remember, just get the specific part. You just say 02 username index at. You see how simple actually, but how hard to understand and implement, right? When you think first. So for like this type of question will help you. Wow, okay, I need to work on this. I should get better. Front end, back end, all right? This type of things I'm sharing you guys. You guys can have this, and before interviews, you find a job. You see what it says also in other things. Okay, so this is not really we need to talk. You should do on your own work. But I'm gonna share. Oktay, remind me please. Right? You should share this.
Okay.
All right, this is the screenshot I made. Just wanna say quick. So test plan basically create that. Remember, I said I was gonna talk test plan. The test plan when you go real work. So some of you guys joined recently. I just want to say what we are doing today. I'm giving you idea how it should be a real work environment when you work, when you get hired. How you can have your daily times that you work, what you do, right? So when STLC start, you should understand the test plan first. Then it's linked. You see, all of them is linked, whatever you do. What you do is basically you get the users to assign, and you create your test cases, and then you execute it after write a code, and then you find a bug or not, right? Or pass or fail. You think is not real bug, just fail because of the web application issue, weight issue. So these are related to what? Test plan. You have to first understand and check test plan with your test lead. Okay, 1 second. Sorry guys, you here?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so that's why everything is linked to what? Test plan. Remember I said I'm gonna talk about that. So I'm gonna show you our test plan. So you have to understand you're gonna face this in the real job too, because your QA lead will provide this, or you might help to write, or you might be asked, create a test plan. Okay, so you should understand what is test plan, how it looks like. I'll show you now in the real look like what I created for campus application with testing. Also, I'm gonna share this to Oktay. This is a sheet. You know, it's about Selenium to remember and help you. You already know these things, but might help you. Okay, don't forget. Tell me Oktay.
Sure.
Two documents I'm gonna share.
Mm-hmm.
After explain test plan, so we're basically done with the soft part. Okay, for our project, guys. Right, and then the technical part we're gonna talk about, right, after test plan is done. So technical part is like creating automation framework, right? So this is the idea looks like test plan. Okay, you have to understand. And I'm going campus project test plan I created. So, like I said, when it's come to STLC, okay, so you have to have a test plan once you assign a user story. So you have to walk through these documents, probably a meeting with your QA lead before starting your test cases. Let's say you assign, you're not gonna right away start cases to something that you create and then you automate or you do that. You're probably like, what do we do, guys? Like, what is our project plan, test plan? Things like that.
Um,
So you have to think.
hey brother, I just found a bug. That's a
Where is
joke,
it?
but prepared by, you spelled prepared wrong.
Ah,
I was just
Yeah.
about to say that.
okay, prepared,
Yep.
prepare.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
How do you write?
No
I'm
I.
confused.
No I.
No I? Okay, yeah, you're right. Prepare, yeah. Good bug. Okay, so this is the test plan document, okay? And I got this from the coach and I just modify according to our application, according to our project right now we are currently working. This is a real plan. Don't think it's a joke or just something that not real. It's real. How it looks is like this. And your QA lead in your real job is gonna talk like this, okay? So test plan campus project. So it's gonna be draft first version, right? We're testing. And the second, we're testing this. You see, this says demo. Yeah, that's what it is actually. Maybe they have the real environment, like who is using, and also they have demo, they have QA environment. So you cannot test exactly something, but the codes are same. Everything is same. They just want to see the codes and everything work. Make sense? That's why first should be draft, right? Before you write something, you do draft, or whatever you plan something, you do draft, and then it was go to wrong, the first one, right one. So that means like version 1.0 point, version 1.1, version 1.2, 5, 2.0. Think about your working sprint 30, sprint 100, right? So that means like should be like maybe here 14 version. Remember, it's like the updated iOS you get, it says 16.0. Do you guys remember that? When you get update from the your phone, it says 16.0 updated.
Yes.
That's like that, that's what it is.
But it's like how long is the project is this thing gonna keep on getting updated?
Yeah,
As
exactly.
long as the project ends, this is gonna keep on going. So they work hand in hand.
Exactly. All right. So continue from that. I'm gonna talk every single details, guys, here. That will help you idea you really work, you understand, and you'll be like, oh, that makes sense now. What you learned so far, okay, or what you heard so far, okay. And every piece come together in soft skills in the real job, and then automation part is already we can handle it. It's easy, but you have to understand the job. Table contents, okay, introduction, test strategies. These are the most important part that you have to observe when you have a real job. Then you can do accordingly. You cannot just go by yourself, create cases, right, scenarios, and then run it. Because there is a plan for that, right? SDLC plan. And you cannot just do on your own. I'm experienced. No. I remember one of the friends said, whoever you call yourself a lead or whoever you call yourself like a senior tester, wherever you goes as a new person, you're a junior. Whichever application assign or the project or the user story, you are a junior. Correct? Because you're just experiencing the first one newly. So you have to see yourself as a junior and ready to learn. That's why it's important. Even if you call yourself senior, so you have to read the plan, what we are doing. So what's the purpose, this plan? You see, approach, testing approach, overall framework. You see the framework here? That will drive the testing of campus version 3. We're preparing ourselves 3 actually, release. Version 3. We were working 1.1, remember? So the documents introduce test strategy, execution strategy, test management. Look, these are the main things that you have to understand. What's your strategy? You've been asked in the interview, what's your test strategy? What would you say? It's right here. You'll just say, I will read the test plan first. I will check with my test plan, documents that it's already showed our strategy we have to follow. What is it? Rules the test will base on, including givings on the project, starts and dates, objectives, assumptions, descriptions of the process setup, valid test, entry and exit criteria, creation of test cases. This is a strategy, creating our test cases, specific tests performed, scheduling, data strategies, what data you're going to use, what framework you're going to use, how to create test cases, positive, negative. These are my strategy, how I strategy myself for test. Execution strategy, how do you execute? Describe how to test, will be performed and processed to identify the report defects, right? What's your execution? Oktay said, I execute, bro, this now failed, this failed because of this data. These are the execution strategy you should have in mind. What it says, kind of defect is that? Is that a real defect of my data or just like an application? No, it's just the application slow, that's why. That's the execution strategy, how to fix that, how to implement, right? So the test management, what do you guys think test management for? Sometimes I'm checking you guys with me or sleeping.
We're still here.
Can I see the definition again? Can I see the definition again, please?
Yeah.
Process to handle logistic testing, all the communication. Does this has to do something with like meetings,
Exactly.
coming together
Jira,
and stuff like that?
Jira X-ray, test management, right?
Yep.
We're managing here, exactly, test management, right? That's what we do. Test cases we create and, RTM, etc. Project overview. What is application you're working on it? Your test lead will explain to you this, right? Campus user can only edit certain field, module, these, that, right? Audience, who's audience? Project team members. Perform test specific these documents. Provide input recommendation these documents. Project manager. Listen to this carefully, guys. Plans for the testing activities. Project manager. Testing activities in the overall project schedule. And then review documents. You see? I've learned here too. Project manager also can review your documents, track the performance of the test according to test, arrange, specify, approves the documents. Remember, I was saying, if you guys remember, create your test cases. Who is a non-tech guy? Yes, PA, BO can be non-tech guy. Have no idea about coding, have no idea about anything. That's why it's easy to and clear to understand. When you upload here Jira X-ray, your documents, it's easy to understand. PA or BO, PM and BO, PO. So stakeholders, we said stakeholders, right? Who are those? You already know. Part UAT test. Testing team, ensure. Look, another word you have to understand. Testing team, technical team. There's a technical team ensures. Test plan. How do you know what is technical team? Who is technical team?
UAT?
Yes, UAT is different than technical team. Technical team call technical team, UAT call UAT.
Okay.
So technical team basically, it's like consists of you guys and some developers. Let's say Ali, me, and Oktay call technical team by who? QA lead or by project manager. Why? They are more experienced guy. They say, you guys technical team, okay, you guys take care of this. That's it. I put your name, technical team, that's it. Or just like think about you're already assigned something, you're technical. So you do what? Testing environment, follow the procedures related, fixes bugs, right? Technical team jobs, that's the audience. Project manager, project team members. Okay, business analyst, you already know, will provide the inputs and on functional changes, which is like always changes come, right? User and the client always wants to improve this, right? Test strategy. Look, test strategy is important, like we said. You will know test strategies or test strategies from here. Objective of test is verify the functionality of the campus application. Accordingly, specification, right? That's my strategy. First, I'm gonna know. We'll execute and verify test script, identify, fix, retest all high, medium severity defects. There's gonna be always defects, but what kind of defects? How much is important, right? That's what you have to understand. That's why Oktay said, oh, my case was failed, was just like passing only this. That's not a defect. It's lowest severity of defects. Yes, it's a defect, but it's not even count as a bug. You don't have to create, right? Final product of the test is twofold, which is production ready to software. A set of stable test script can be reused of functional, look, you see functional, UAT test execution, 2 words. Functional means like, you're doing smoke tests, regression tests, that's what is functional, remember? UAT test execution, UAT user acceptance criteria at the end. So the test assumption, what do you assume? Production like data, key assumption, require and be available in the system prior to start functional testing, right? So before functional testing, which is smoke testing, regression testing, like, creating your framework, before that, what it says here, available in the system prior to start. You see, that means like it should be ready, something that we can see as a demo or something like that. In each testing phase, cycle 3 will be identified if the defects rate high cycle 2. So these are like, we cannot everything understand. Exploratory testing, you see? This is the strategy. I will exploratory test application demo or anything like available. You will say my strategy. Once the build is ready for testing, you see what it says, exploratory testing will be carried out once the build, which is code dropped, is ready to testing. Performance testing. This is not your job, you know that. All the defects will come along with the snapshot. You see, I found a defects, that's my strategy, and I do screenshot. Where? My framework, that's my strategy. I put the here, right? That's my strategy when I find a defect. So, and then you say another strategy I follow, test team. Look, the test team, which is you, will provide the access to test environment, VPN connectivity. The test team assumes that all necessary inputs required during test design, execution, will be provided by who? Business analyst, development part. Remember I said data and everything should be provided by them, right? And the test case design activities perform QA group, test environment preparation activities. So all you need to understand these keywords that provide your strategy. Okay, dev team, you see dev team will provide defect fix plan, defects meeting, you will have defect meeting, each cycle, each sprint, right? The same will be informed, the test team, again, test team, fix priority of the defect. Business analyst will review, sign off the test case prepared by test team. Look, basically you will face this maybe. Business analyst will review your test cases you created, sign off prepared by test team. Test team also create test cases, right? So you're in the test team already. Before execution, you see you haven't executed yet, but you have to check with business analyst, QA lead. The defects, you will say my strategy once when I'm done, my cases, I check with the, my QA, my BA, it looks fine. Should I execute or not? That's my strategy. I follow up. The defects will be tracked on Jira. You see Jira. By the way, I changed this. There was something like different part of look like Jira, HR, something like that. It's kind of like a Jira, but every company is different. You just say Jira, we use my recent company or Jira X-Ray. And the defects here, that's my strategy. When I find out it's a legitimate bug, and then I do this strategy, I go to management tool, Jira, and I upload that. Project manager, PO, or business analyst will review and sign off test deliverables. So what is test deliverables?
They pass the test.
What is that?
Test deliverables is when they pass the test or they are ready for testing. I mean, there's no defects.
Should be that. Also,
Or
I saw
moving to production,
here,
maybe?
I'm not wrong. I'm sorry?
Oh, you said, what was your question?
Test deliverables.
Maybe moving to production, ready for release?
Yes, it's done and it's passed like how Ali said. Exactly, should be, but you will see that, okay? So the project will provide test planning. You see, project will provide, you're working on a project, will provide test planning, test design, test execution. That means you cannot go create, right here guys, you cannot go create something like this. Oh, I like this design, Oktay. Oh, can you do work like this? No. Whatever the design, test case design, test execution, you have to follow up. Whatever the idea should be look like this, then you have to do it. Whatever the scenario look like this, or the cases, positive, negative, conditions, you have to follow up, right? Testing will manage testing effort with the close coordination. Who you're gonna involve, who you're gonna engage? Project PO, business analyst, QA lead. Test team actually is us, by the way. Even if I'm QA lead, I'm part of you, I'm like you. Nothing different. I'm not a guy boss like running around. No, I'm like you. We all depends on this guy, project manager and business analyst. Right? We always coordinate. Project team has the knowledge when necessary, has received adequate training in the system, right? We're gonna do some exploratory training, project and testing process. There is no environment downtime that's due to, because of this situation, outage. You cannot do anything. The system will be treated as a black box. What is black box?
Black boxes for testers.
Exactly. And show correctly online and it reports. It will be assumed that properly. Functional testing. Functional testing. So functional testing is your strategy also you have to talk. We are still in strategy. During functional testing, which is smoke test, regression test, testing team will use preloaded data. You see, preloaded data. It's already ready from the development. Available on the system execution. The test team will perform functional testing only this version, they say. Then you have to follow that. You cannot just run, oh, let me put this like regression smoke here and let me run. No, you have to follow the plan, what it says, right? If this version, then we have to do this version. We just need to improve application only testing these parts. Click, send, click, send. They don't want you to do smoke tests or regression tests and running all together. When they want version 3, we're now version 1. That's the plan. You have to stick on it. Okay? UAT. What is UAT? Test execution will be performed by end user. You already know UAT. That's happen at the end. So there's alpha and beta testing, right? Alpha testing goes with the testers and the development team to see like application is ready and push to production environment, right? That's happened in staging environment. And then QA group will provide their support, and you see QA group testing team will provide support for UAT. Oktay, Emily, guys, I need you to go help UAT test execution. I know you guys busy today. Please stop your jobs and do this. This is gonna happen, okay? And the test principle, what is your principles? Testing will be focused on meeting business objective, right? Don't do anything else. Cost efficiency and quality. There will be common, consistent procedures and all team support testing activity. You see, all team support testing activity. I was telling you, remember, check with this guy if he needs help or not. Testing process will be well-defined process, yet flexible, ability change as needed since agile environment. Testing activities will build upon previous strategies, stage, and avoid redundancy and duplication effort, right? We should use the codes and same thing leverage. Testing environment and data will emulate a production environment as much as possible. Testing will be repeatable, quantifiable, and measurable activity. Like it's a realistic. Do we really need to automate this test or just keep it manual, right? Talk about those details with your QA lead and test team and your BA PO. And entrance criteria, exit criteria. Data approach. Look, data approach. What we were doing, guys, here, providing dummy data. You cannot do that. You have to follow the plan. In functional testing, which is real testing, campus variant will contain preloaded test data, which is used for testing activities. Okay? So things real here, so you have to follow up. So scope and levels of testing. We're done with strategy, I guess. Exploratory level of testing. What kind of level of testing, right? Purpose of this test, exploratory. Make sure the critical defects are removed before the next level of the testing. Exploratory, like checking application, no documents. Testing team, you doing. At the beginning of each cycle, right? They will ask what kind of testing you're done. Well, I done like smoke and regression, but you should be able to also say exploratory, like before anything start, beginning of each sprint cycle, right? No documents or anything required, right? Just checking the application. Functional test, then go dive into details like a smoke test, integration test, regression test. Functional testing will be performed to check functions, on the name on it, meaning of on the name, application functioning, send keys working, click working, right? Carried on by feeding input, validates output, etc., right? Look what it says. The below Excel sheet details about the scope of functional test. Scope is high level due to the change in the requirement. Keep these documents. You see, you might have these documents, things like that you have to face in real job. You have to understand how I follow this up, functional testing. Okay, and acceptance criteria, right? Acceptance criteria is important. So let's give 2 minutes break, guys. I'm gonna continue, okay? 2 minutes.
Maybe I can stop here and then we'll start the part 3 then.
Okay.